Hey guys, what's up? My name is Tom Spark and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to give you my socialist liberal perspective on the recent Trump and Parler censorship. Now I've seen a couple other privacy channels, a couple other political channels discussing this topic, and I haven't really seen anyone with my opinion, so I'm going to give it to you here in this video. Hey guys, if you haven't already, make sure to check out vpntierlist.com. This is like the central hub of the channel where you can find all the VPNs ranked in the tier list, explanations for updates and changes of scores in the transparency report, stuff about the RVP program, my favorite products, a fact page answering some of the most common questions, and even links to my Twitter account. Anyways guys, back to the video. Also guys, if you want to help support the channel, make sure to click on some of the links down in the description down below. Now if you didn't hear, President Trump got removed and banned from Twitter, and Parler was also forcibly removed from web hosts and app stores. Trump has also been banned from YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. A lot of big banks have kind of canceled their agreements with him, and even other corporations are canceling contracts as well. And lots of companies are stopping donations to the Republican Party in the United States. All of this kind of has led to the discussion online that big tech has censored USA citizens and how big brother this really is. And lots of people have said that this is like the start of a slippery slope, that this is the start of when corporations are taking over the country and be able to do whatever they want. This already poses the question, however, who should be in control? Should the government be responsible for telling corporations and businesses what to do, like it is in China? Is that not Big Brother itself, the total idea of it cemented into reality? Now, first, let's take a step back a little bit. Let's define what censorship really is. The dictionary defines censorship as the suppression or prohibition of any parts of books, films, news, etc. that would be considered obscene, politically unacceptable, or a threat to security. Now, on the surface level of the term, I would agree that Parler and Trump have been censored because Trump and Parler, people using Parler, are using these platforms to cement violence in the United States of America or to incite insurrection. Now, in my opinion, I think Twitter was actually in the right for doing this and probably should have done it sooner. Why should any individual on any social media platform get special privileges when they're breaking the rules when other people don't? Just because someone's the president doesn't mean that they should be able to do or say whatever they want and not get punished for it, with other people can't do the same thing. Fundamentally, Twitter removed Trump from their platform because he was breaking the law and inciting insurrection. That's just what happened. I mean, we saw it happen. Now, the popular counterpoint from the alt-right, who opposes the removal of Trump and websites like Parler, is that these platforms should not be able to just do this whenever they want to. In fact, Josh Hawley, a Republican who's getting a lot of limelight now, is actually planning to sue a book firm because they no longer want to publish a book associated with someone who could have been instrumental in inciting an insurrection in the nation's capital. So don't you kind of see the irony here? Does a book firm not have the right to decide who they want to do business with? Do they not have the freedom to do what they want to do as well? Now, I believe the same sort of logic can be used with President Trump too. With various executive orders and plans to make laws to control social media companies, Trump pretty much wants to be able to do and say whatever he wants on any website. Now, is this law that he's trying to push to control these social media companies not a form of control and censorship? Just as I mentioned with Josh Hawley, do companies and corporations founded by people and the employees that work there not have the right to do what they want to do with their platforms as long as it does not break the law? I would argue that they do. And this brings me to my next point. Trump, Parler, or anyone else is free to make their own web hosting company, make their own social media platform, and own their own websites if they so choose. Now, that's sort of what they tried to do with Parler, except they were still relying on other hosting companies and their own servers and stuff like that. So they're still relying on these pre-constructed companies, and they get upset when they break the rules of these companies. So in my opinion, they don't want to do the work, do the creation of these servers and all these things. They want to use these companies and be able to do whatever they want with them and not have to follow the rules. Essentially, they want to have their cake and eat it too. Basically what I'm trying to say is you can't complain that a website removed you if you're willingly using it and you say you will follow the rules. Just the same, Parler can't really complain if they got removed from the App Store and hosting companies if they broke the rules of the companies that they're using. These companies have the freedom to make the rules they want to, and it's the freedom to do so under the law. I find it ironic because the very same people who are against the removal of these websites, the removal of these hosting companies, hosting Parler and these kind of apps, they cite it as how it's a violation of law. They say it's a violation of free speech or the First Amendment or something like that. And in my previous examples, as I mentioned, Trump has been trying to change the law with social media companies, and people like Josh Hawley have been trying to use the law to sue companies for removing his book contracts. And that's really what it comes down to, right? It's the law. The people being censored and breaking rules don't want to follow the rules or the laws in the USA that says you can't fucking attack the House of Representatives and the Senate. Not only that, but the very same people who are crying about free speech and the protection of the First Amendment could have violated several other laws, and there's all sorts of leads and news coming out about how people who were in places of power and law could have been instrumental in inciting the insurrection itself. It's extremely common to find alt-right people saying, "This is America. I can do whatever the fuck I want."
Because that is our company policy. So either wear the mask.
And I'm not doing it because I woke up in a free country. He's going to take the card away because he's a... There he is, walking away with all my stuff.
I woke up in a free country. I don't have to wear a mask. People can't even fundamentally figure out how our country works on the simplest level. Freedom doesn't mean you get to do whatever the fuck you want.
These people, by the way, are the people that are driving to work on tax-funded roads, are able to call the police if someone breaks into their house and tries to beat them up. These are the same kind of people who are taking advantage of a multitude of systemic principles and foundational kind of infrastructure that clearly says you can't just do what you want all the time. And I think that's really what it comes down to. No country in the world is completely free. Whether you want to admit it or not, freedom doesn't really exist. When it comes down to it, no one really wants it because we rely on things we haven't built. And we cry about the things we haven't built when they don't do what we tell them to. The world isn't really black and white. It's not censorship and anti-censorship. It's not Republican or Democrat. Ideas and systems and free speech is complicated. Some things are wrong and some things are right, and we can't be mad if sometimes we end up on the wrong side of the argument. You can't simply cry foul and say you're being censored when you've done something wrong, especially if you want to use a pre-constructed system of government to disable the freedom of others. Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion on some of this stuff lately. Let me know down in the comments down below what you thought of this one. It's more of a political-driven episode, more of a discussion on censorship and privacy and stuff like that, and, you know, complications thereof. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video very soon.